What's going on, guys? Well, the Phillies take care of business today, and they win the series, and they beat the Colorado Rockies, right? They win 9-3. It was a great game for the Phillies, right? They played their butts off. They had a lot of big, timely hits, and the home run ball was absolutely incredible. And I'm really proud of this team. Okay, they've been taking care of business. It's all about just finding whatever is in front of you and just making sure that you knock the opponent out the way that you can. And that's what the Phillies have been doing. And I'm really proud that they were able to, win in an orthodox fashion. It wasn't like as great as Nick Castellanos was yesterday. It wasn't like only three guys got you hits. Today it was just a combination of guys. The offense I thought was very smooth, and I thought that overall they did such a great job at just figuring out who was going to get involved and that type of stuff. Excuse me. So, for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. If you're new to my channel, as always, if you enjoy the Phillies, the Sixers, the Flyers, the Patriots as much as I do, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon too, so that you know when I upload and when I go live. So, but yeah, man, let's talk about these Phillies because the last time that we actually talked about them, but off the air, they weren't off to such a good start. And I think that the one thing that was kind of bothering me was that the fundamentals just weren't there. Now, we saw a base running mistake again today by Edmundo Sosa, but the base running mistakes and those types of basic issues aren't necessarily occurring as much as as they used to be. And the Phillies, I thought, have been doing a really good job at just doing the little things correct now. The base running's been fine. No one's really getting out as much as they used to be. And I'm just really when 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 I take a look at this team just from an overall perspective, they just literally know what to do at every single moment. And Rob Thompson, I think, has been doing a much better job at managing the baseball games on a night in and a night out basis. And he's pushing the right buttons. Some decisions that he's been making, I still feel like are a little bit questionable, but I'm not questioning as many decisions that he makes as much as I used to, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I want to start off with the offense because I gotta tell you, Bryson Stott batting leadoff, I was wrong. I was wrong about that. He's been incredible as a leadoff hitter. I was thinking to myself that maybe that I'm just defending myself here, but I actually thought that if he was going to bat leadoff, then like his approach would change and pitchers would try to pitch to him a little bit differently. But no, man, everything has been working out great. And he's such a great leadoff hitter. He's the best hitter on this team. And the way that I look at it, and I looked at it last year, even when Kyle Schwarber was the leadoff hitter, and so many people were debating whether or not he should be the leadoff hitter, I said, who do I want on this team getting the most at bats besides Bryce Harper? Kyle Schwarber. I wanted him to get a lot of it. I wanted him to have the most at bats as possible, especially last year in the postseason, because he was a great leadoff hitter and he got the job done. Every single home run that he hit was a statement. And now Bryson Stott, man, he's getting on base. He's making pitchers work with 2-strike counts. And he's doing everything right. He really is. And I'm just super proud. Turner, I'm not opposed to him batting leadoff, but right now, Bryson Stott's working out. And everything in that sense has been really going well. Now, I saw a stat today, and I think I wrote it down. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Oh, yes, here it is. There it is. Okay, so before this series by the Phillies, they were actually hitting 184 with runners in scoring position. That's one of the reasons why that they have been failing to put up runs, and that's why they're not winning games is because of those types of things. But in this series, they did a lot better. They got in runs, timely base hits, and guys just stepped up. literally and figuratively. So I thought that that was an interesting stat. Obviously, they're 7-3 over these last 10 games. Am I still happy with? Am I overall really happy with how they've been doing? I am, but I still need more. I still need more. Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm and Brandon Marsh, they're all doing everything right. They're playing really well. And I'm proud of them too, because they're taking the next steps into that development. So I think that that is awesome. Alec Boehm is somebody that continues to show a lot of power, and I was really on him about that. I basically said that coming into this season, okay, if he's gaining more muscle, there has to be more power. There has to be more home runs. And he has been, hitting balls. He's been hitting a lot of doubles now. It was single season last year, but he's been getting a lot of doubles and extra base hits, and that makes me happy. And speaking of extra base hits, how about Nick Castellanos? 2 home runs yesterday, man. I think that Nick Castellanos is back. I do. I think that we're getting the Nick Castellanos of old, and I think that that is just awesome. Very proud about that. And what else was I going to say about Nick Castellanos? It also looks like that he's just not chasing after those like low pitches that he used to chase after. Like he's taking his time more at the plate. He looks a little bit more composed, calm, cool, collected. And he's having fun. He said coming into the season that there was a whole report that he just that he had a baby and that he was getting used to new life. Coming to Philly because he wasn't used to it before. And this team, think about it like this: this team made it to the World Series without a legit Nick Castellanos, and now this is who he is. He's showing you right now who he is. And I think that it's incredible. Overall, I'm when I take a look at the offense, I think that that everybody has their own sort of like moment, and I could literally say that even in yesterday's game, that Christian Pache had his moment, obviously. He played really well. Cody Clemens homer today. He took like a 3-2 pitch and he just launched it right on out of here. And yeah, I think that the offense is starting to come around. And we have to also remember too that the injury bug really hit this team early on this year. Seriously. Have to remember that. Their call goes down. Bryce Harper is injured, right? Ranger Suarez still not back, still not healthy. And Rhys Hoskins, obviously. So, but yeah, the offense, I think, is doing a really good job. And Rob Thompson also, I can agree with the decisions that he's making when it comes to the starting lineups and also just when he makes the substitutions. Do I still see like a little bit too much of like the whole lefty righty situation? At times I do. There's times like where I see a righty out there or a lefty out there on the mound and he doesn't play Brandon Marsh or he doesn't play, he platoons some guys, and I kind of wish that he would still adjust and make some differences. But that's like the only thing if I'm just being absolutely nitpicky. He's going to Alvarado as the closer or Craig Kimbrell, right? Sir Anthony Dominguez is starting to do a lot better. Sosa or Soto today was okay. But just from a managerial perspective, I think that he's doing a much better job and it's not getting as out of hand. A lot of people today were a little bit concerned about Zach Wheeler and if he should have gotten pulled before he did. And I was thinking to myself, well, Zach, even though he hit a batter and he had the bases loaded, I thought that he would have been able to get out of it myself because my gut was telling me that he was. And I try to listen to my gut. I really do. So, but yeah, I thought that that was great. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on really quickly before I open the floor up to you guys, if you guys haven't done so already, join the Discord server. Right, I see that Larry just got in. Larry, I'm gonna get to you in like just a second, I promise. But you know, the one other thing I wanted to talk about too is kind of touched up on it a little bit, but the bullpen has been really good. I'm really surprised about how much the bullpen has actually turned things around. Today, they didn't give up any runs. They've been very dominant, and everybody has their role. And I think that we're starting to see that bullpen come together too. Sir Anthony kind of looks a little bit more like the 2022 version of Sir Anthony that we saw last year. Jose Alvarado is obviously your best pitcher. There's just no doubt about it. Connor Brogdon, I think, looks really good out there. Craig Kimbrell has made some, he's put together a couple of like really strong innings. And then Bailey Falter and Matt Strom, man, like I got to ride those waves. When Ranger Suarez comes back and when Andrew Painter comes back, can you imagine like how much depth that's going to bring to the pitching? And now in the playoffs, you're basically going to say that we're even deeper with the pitching staff. As long as Nola and Zach Wheeler continue to do their thing. I was a little bit nervous today. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little bit nervous today because I saw a report out there. It was from Paul Casella, right? Paul is he does a lot of really great work for the Phillies, and he said it was about like after like the third inning or so. Where was it? After his last start, there it is. Okay. After his last start, this is what he said, and I quote: "After his last start, Zach Wheeler said his back tightened up during a long third inning versus the White Sox. It looked like he may have reached for his back after Tovar's RBI single and tried to stretch it out a little bit. Something to keep your eye on." I saw that, and the first thing that I thought of was just that's just I didn't think that that was a coincidence. And that got me a little bit concerned. But then after the game, he interviewed Zach Wheeler, and this is what he said on Twitter. Wheeler said that after the game, there wasn't any issue with his back today. Looked strong in the fifth and the sixth, and threw 111 pitches. As for the one big inning, the big inning, that's funny. Each start, and Zach Wheeler said, it's something we're just going to have to look into, I guess. I don't think it's anything super serious. And I think that that is okay, but I think that we do have to monitor that because his health, man, if the goal is to get to the postseason fully healthy, we don't want back issues. we can't rely on that right now. So that's something to keep your eye out on. And I thought that Paul did a good observation on that. Seriously. I thought that that was awesome. But just keep your eye out on it because we want him to be as fully healthy as possible. And we want to make sure that he can get to the postseason healthy and try to finish the job. That's what it comes down to. Got to make sure that you capitalize. And I think with that, we're going to head on over to the phones. But before we do that, actually, just want to remind you guys, if you haven't done so already, right, I'll put it in the chat overlay. Hop on the Discord, right, if you want to talk to me about Phillies baseball. Get you on. We'll talk about some ball, and I want to hear what your thoughts are about this Phillies team. I'm really proud of them. I'm very happy with how they've been playing lately. They've been taking care of business right in front of them, and it seems like that everybody is starting to get into a groove and they're starting to get into a swing of things. I just hope that they can follow this up. I know that they have their first off day in like 3 weeks tomorrow. I'm just really hoping that on Tuesday when they take on Seattle, that they come out very strongly in the series. And I think that they can, and they should. But every time that something seems to be going right, something always happens. And they follow it up with a trash performance. So, all right, let's take some calls here. All right. Let's do that. Oh, Larry, I think that you have to You know what you have to do? You have to press. I think you have to press your hand. You have to press the raise your hand button. I think that's what you have to do. You see the there it is. There you go. Request to speak. There we go. What's going on, Larry? You're on play by play with JJ. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, this is my. You're actually you have the honor of being the first caller on Discord on play by play with JJ. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, no, you gotta buy in early. You know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly right. No, I appreciate that. So what are your thoughts about the Phillies so far? How do you think that they've been doing over the last couple of weeks, in your opinion? Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, look, as soon as I saw the Paul Casella report, like I was really nervous because I didn't think that it was anything like, wasn't like breaking news or anything like that. But I wanted to that was kind of in the back of my mind because the whole back issues, like we know, like the back spasms with Zach Wheeler that have always been an issue throughout, not just not just over the last couple of years. That's been a whole thing like throughout his entire major league career. And you need Zach Wheeler to be that number one guy going into the postseason, and you have to make sure that he's healthy. So yeah, yeah, for sure. And then you talked about Bryson Stott too, right? Yep. Yeah, yeah, then that would definitely be big. I feel like when it comes to June, obviously Kyle Schwarber's going to be hitting you home runs, and he's going to be, that type of guy that's going to like carry the team for a little bit of time. But the one thing that I actually really like about this lineup right now, and I think that it kind of speaks volumes as to who this team is. Like JT Realmuto is in a slump, and like there's a couple of guys like Trey Turner has been a little bit streaky, like at some points. And I think that the one thing that I like about this group is that when you take even without Bryce Harper, you have Bryson Stott, you have Alec Bohm, you have these guys that are basically like controlling the team, and they can like put the team on their back like over like a certain amount of points. And that was something that the Phillies didn't have in years past. Like last season, they started to have it, but now Nick Castellanos is that other guy that's just starting to carry the team and starting to, like put the team on his back too. So I think that just from an overall perspective, that the Phillies are doing a really good job at finding guys that are hot at the right time. And that was the one thing that Rob Thompson, I thought, did a really good job at last year. And he's starting to finally do that now. Figure out who the hot bats are and ride with the hot guys. Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Um, One other thing I want to ask you, like really quickly, is when Bryce Harper comes back, we all know that this team is gonna have another element to them. What do you think? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like, what do you think? Where do you think he's gonna bat in the batting order? Like once he's fully healthy. Yep. Right. I know. Right. 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 Yeah, I think that if you're Rob Thompson, like that's gonna be that that to me is like a manager's best problem to have, because how many teams can say that their lineup is just so stacked. Like, besides maybe the Houston Astros or maybe even, like, the Padres at this point, or the Mets, but, like, there's not a whole lot of teams that have those types of problems, and I feel like even if you have Bryson Stott, like, going down to, like, the 6th spot, like, let's just say in, like, a hypothetical perspective, right? You got Bryson Stott leading off, you got Trey Turner batting 2nd, Schwarber's batting 3rd, Castellanos 4th, Harper's 5th, and then after that, you still have JT, you still have Alec Bohm, and, like, the weakest hitter that you have is basically, like, your 9-hole hitter. Like, there's just so many strengths. That Yeah. I think that we ultimately have the best left-handed hitters in all of baseball, like, low key. Right. Yep. There's literally no holes whatsoever. Larry, I appreciate sorry, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Larry, I really appreciate you coming on here and giving your thoughts about the Phillies, man. Seriously, thank you so much. And thanks for being a supporter of Play by Play with JJ too. Right. Yep. Right. Yep. Watch parties. Yep. Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. I I appreciate that, man. Seriously, it means a lot from the bottom of my heart. All right, I have to get somebody else to come on here, but no, thank you so much for coming on, and of course, we'll be talking soon. Yeah. None, no word that I found out. So yeah, that's another thing. So, but no, man, I appreciate it. Yep. All right, you have a good one, man. All right, bye bye. All right, so we also have somebody else over here. We're gonna take one more phone call. All right, we're gonna have Josh come on here. Let's see. All right, let's get Josh to join. Oops. Show requests. Let me invite Josh on here. We're getting used to this whole thing. Getting used to this whole thing. All right, where's Josh? Where's Josh? Up to Josh or sleeve? Oh, yep, he left. All right. Well, Josh just left. That's okay. Um, we'll give Josh another minute to see if he comes back on here. But no, I feel like like when you take a look at this team, there really aren't that many holes, like from top to bottom in the starting lineup. And I really feel proud of just the way that they've been able to come through and deal with all the adversity. And also, not just that, I even take a look at the starting pitching, and I said to myself, like Matt Strom and Bailey Falter, like, they're going to be good quality pitchers that are going to get you like 5 or 6 innings, but they're actually like going out there and they're giving you some really, really good quality starts. Like Strom had 11 strikeouts the other day and was great, and he only allowed 3 earned runs. Like they're going, Bailey Falter and Matt Strom are like going deep in the games, and that is really valuable, especially to a team that could totally use more depth at the starting pitching, area. Like in a hypothetical world, let's just say, okay, Zach Wheeler is giving up like 6 runs in the playoffs, right? And it's like a 6-0 lead for, I don't know, like the Atlanta Braves in the second inning. You can basically, if the rotation's going to be shorter, you can have Bailey Falter go out there for like 5 innings of work, or you could have Matt Strom go out there for like 4 innings, or like whoever it is. If the starters are Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, and Andrew Painter, like if those are your 4 guys, then you have Bailey Falter and you have Matt Strom that can eat up innings. And that is huge because that's something that this team hasn't had since the World Series in 2009, which is really crazy to say. Maybe 2010, 2010 playoffs. Yeah. So, but yeah. All right. Well, I don't think he came back, but if that's the case, I think we're gonna wrap things up here. But I appreciate you guys for coming on here, man. Go Phillies! They've been really doing a good job, and hopefully over these next couple of games, they can just continue to pick up some speed, if you will, and just try everything that they possibly can to make sure that they're not only getting runs, but they're also getting timely hits, and their pitching has to be really dominant, and I think that they can do that. So good stretch by the Phillies, and let's go, baby. We'll be back on Tuesday night for more baseball. But before we do that, we also have on Monday we're going to be doing a Patriots podcast and talk a little bit about the NFL draft, who the Patriots should be taking, and when they should be taking those guys, and all that type of stuff. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I'll probably post an announcement tonight. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Play by Play with JJ on the Phillies post game pod. And I will catch you all on the next one.